Hey Renegade, it's Harmony Major, trauma transcendence leader for entrepreneurs. And I want to make the point that just because we're talking about childhood trauma does not mean that we are always or at all talking about something that our parents or primary caregivers did to us or around us. So in this video, I'm going to talk about, okay, well, if it's not parental or related to our primary caregivers, then what could it possibly be? And then also even when we're talking about those people, it's not from a space of blaming or bashing, but what it is coming from. Again, I'm Harmony, and I help audacious entrepreneurs to finally transcend childhood trauma and disable fear so that you can run a better business on purpose. So, childhood trauma, and I hate air quotes, and I always do them, my bad. But much of what we experience as children, traumatic experiences that we have, they're not parental in nature. They're not related to something that our parents did or didn't do as it pertains to us. So, what could it possibly be then? Well, basically, trauma is let's talk about really quickly what that even means, first and foremost. And I do have a 4-part video series that goes into more detail about this and what to do about it if you find that you have that. But trauma is basically defined as something terrible and too much that occurred without your consent. When you think about it like that, it could be societal, it could be cultural, it could be related to your family. Yes, it could be socioeconomic, it could be a natural disaster. So long as it occurred in our childhood and it was traumatic, that makes it a childhood trauma. So if you were in an earthquake, I was. If you were in a fire, I was. Okay, things like that. Um, that is categorized as childhood trauma. So, with that said, there are some things that many of our parental figures or primary caregivers did or didn't do when we were children that impacted us and had a traumatic effect. So, when we discuss those things, however, um, number one, we're not going to be getting into the nitty gritty of what all that means because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help you transcend that. So if we're transcending that, how can we just be so up underneath it? You know what I mean? How can we be buried within it? In order to transcend it, we have to understand and accept that it happened and kind of look at it from an objective place as we can. And again, this is, it depends on your own personal journey and where you are and if you're able to do that right now. But that is the point of my work, to help you get to a place where you can look at it more objectively and it's not taking over your life and impacting the success that you get or don't get from your business. Here's the thing. The last thing that I will leave you with on the idea of childhood trauma is that whether or not it occurred as a result of some person, some environmental factor, a parent, a caregiver, a family member, it still had the same impact on your brain. And that is the point of what we will be talking about with energetic harmony. The things that you experienced as a child that were traumatic to you have changed the structure and the function of your brain. So you need to understand that in order to be uplifted by that and understand that you are not flawed. You are not broken. It might feel that way sometimes, but that's only because you don't understand that physiologically, your emotions and your behaviors that you have, that even the ones you may not like, are natural responses to the things that have happened to you in your life. So we'll get into that more as we go on. Check the link in the resources for a link to my course that talks more about, well, what is trauma? How is it impacting me? And how can I transcend it?